Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared Quartermatch, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This time it's going to be on Lord and King by P.L. Stuart. Welcome one and all to the fabulous third book in the Drowned Kingdom saga. All the caveats that go along with a non-spoiler review in a third book of a long series of 7 books, come into play here. So there's not much I can give away, but we can delve into what makes this third book special in the overall scheme of things. In this spectacular volume of a truly epic fantasy series, we get to delve into more of what makes up our slightly, or maybe not so slightly, misguided protagonist, Othrin. In this dazzling first person narrative, we get to see just how far self justification can take a man to glory, and or what he perceives as glory, and how that same narrow mindedness can humble itself with a bit of self actualization. This contradiction of personality makes Othran a very complete character and kind of relatable in spite of his obvious faults. And Stuart does this. He really has his character down, and he does it very well. Stuart explores this theme, while giving us a bit of a recap during like the first 100 pages or so. And this is probably pretty useful for those who've been away from the series for a little bit and want to get back into it. But he doesn't do it. It's not like repetitive, and it's not. It's not it doesn't like it doesn't bog you down at all. It's just not like a slog. It's done very well. It's done within the context of the story and within the context of Othran, who is who can be a person who likes to go over things in his head many times. We've seen that in the first 2 books as well, and it continues here. So with this in mind, Stuart then introduces us to more of the world here, his world, and the peoples who inhabit it, as Othran begins to establish his kingdom and grow into his role of king and then vassal to other kings, and the politics that are all involved here. There are some mentions of possible fantastic species in this volume, like elves, nymphs, and sprites, and I really like he's kind of tying it into the history of some of the other peoples we're learning about, and there's an introduction of other gods that are worshipped, and besides just the ones we knew already. So that was pretty cool, and so this that's it's pretty neat. As we get, we're introducing more cultures, more different peoples in the world, more of the world lore that's going along with the story here. Stuart, he definitely navigates some themes of homosexuality, death, honor, duty, and like the promises we make to ourselves and how they affect our lives. All that stuff is, it's all in there. And but for this book particularly, his most powerful section deals with the care of orphans under the pretense of a benevolent religious authority. And of course, if you know any of the history of the Christian church and the government in Canada, you may know about the horrific practices they engaged in when they came to the indigenous population there in Canada. In one section of the book, somebody asked a question: if one cannot trust a prelate to care for children, who can one trust? And so this really gets to the heart of what Stuart was exploring with a lot of grace and respect. And I really appreciated what he did here in this novel, exploring that theme um, of just, rampant um, exploitation of an indigenous population, and just it just it like I said, it really resonated. If you ever look into the stuff, the current s- things that are coming up about what the Christian Church and the government of Canada did to the Indigenous population. It's really been coming out a lot in a lot of news items over the past few years, and so uh, look into it, and you'll get a sense of what Stewart was trying to capture here, and he did it magnificently. I think without bogging the story down um, in politics, like modern day politics and stuff like that. He did it within the context of his world, and he did it very well. And I thought he was making a very good a good statement here with a lot of respect and a lot of grace, like I said. Um, but beyond that, this is the third book in a series of seven. And this book adds a lot to the overall story and moves it in a good direction that's not too predictable. There are a couple tropes that fall into line with what you typically expect in an epic fantasy adventure, but he handles these with subtlety and care that makes you want more by really hinting at a future with some exciting possibilities. So I think I'm really excited to get to the fourth book, which came out earlier this year, and so I'm catching up, and I'm glad about that because I wanna be on board for whenever the next release happens, and I am hoping it's gonna be sometime next year and sometime soon. I'm hoping. So with that said, uh, do yourselves a favor, check out the Drowned Kingdom Saga by P.L. Stewart. Most excellent self-published series, and it's quite epic if that's fits your bag. A long 7 book series that one book after another just sucks you more into this world that he's created and makes it a lot of fun to read. All right, and with that said, be good to each other and thank you.